I used to roll my eyes at anything that sounded too woo-woo. My mornings kicked off with an immediate phone scroll, and my days were powered by caffeine and calendar pings. By 10 p.m., I was so mentally fried, I'd just zombie stare at Netflix, utterly drained. I didn't call it a spiritual drought then, but looking back, that's what it was. Then one night, fueled by curiosity and desperation, I made a deal with myself. 30 days, one simple rule. Every day, do one thing that connects you to something bigger than your to-do list. I figured I'd maybe sleep a little better. Instead, those weeks profoundly rewired how I think, feel, and show up in the world. Stick around, because here's what really happened. Let me set the stage. Recent research and meta-analyses have shown a clear link between consistent, daily spiritual practices and higher life satisfaction. But I didn't know any of that when I started. All I knew was I was tired of feeling like a walking notification banner, constantly buzzing with external demands. So I committed. 30 days, no skipping, just showing up. And honestly, the results were so specific and unexpectedly powerful that I just had to share them. 1. The before picture. This version of me, I could rattle off productivity hacks all day, yet I hadn't felt genuinely excited to wake up in over a year. I was that friend who'd respond to "How are you?" with a breathless crazy busy, like it was a badge of honor. But beneath all that was a constant low-grade buzz of anxiety. It was always present enough to quietly siphon off my joy. I'd tried meditation apps, but they just became another chore to fail at. I'd journal during a crisis, then abandon the notebook for months. My spiritual life was like a dusty, forgotten shelf in the back of my closet I kept meaning to get to, but never did. 2. Setting the challenge. I laid down 3 deceptively simple ground rules. 1. Pick just one practice a day. It could be 5 minutes or 50. No pressure, just do something. 2. It had to be relational, not transactional. This was about connection, not doing X to earn Y. 3. Every night I had to jot down one sentence. Where did I notice something bigger than me today? That was it. No special gear or elaborate calendars. I started on a Tuesday with a 3-minute breathing exercise. Day 1, done. And I felt nothing. Absolutely zero revelations. But then, by day 5, something tiny started to shift. I caught myself pausing before firing off a snarky email I drafted in my head. And that pause, it felt spacious. Not a cosmic shift, just different. 3. Week 1. Reality check. That first week was ridiculously hard. My brain actually itched to check my phone. The second there was silence, I remember standing in my kitchen, completely zoned out, mentally rehearsing my day while the kettle screamed. I realized I'd been living on pure autopilot and had only just noticed the cockpit window. But I kept going. I forced myself to walk to the park and left my phone at home, something I hadn't done in years. I sent a heartfelt thank you text to an old professor. Each daily practice was small, but the sheer consistency started to feel like brushing my teeth. If I skipped it, something felt off. 4. The turning point day. 12 nearly broke me. A critical work project blew up, a car alarm went off at 3 a.m., and I spilled oatmeal on my laptop. The old me would have launched into a furious rage-cleaning spree. But something different happened. Instead, I flopped onto my bed, stared at the ceiling, and whispered, "Okay, I'm listening." I didn't even know who I was addressing. 10 minutes later, the hot anger had just drained away. I didn't get a mystical vision, but I did get a startlingly clear next step. Apologize to my teammate for the passive-aggressive email I'd already drafted. That night, my journal entry practically wrote itself. Turns out surrender isn't weakness, it's a freaking superpower. 5. Lessons learned, the list you've been waiting for. Here's the real gold from those 30 days. Lesson 1. Intentionality beats intensity. 5 mindful minutes daily did more for me than any weekend meditation marathon. Consistency is compound interest for your soul. Lesson 2. Gratitude is a stealth mood steroid. I started naming 3 small things I was grateful for each morning. Warm socks, my dog's tail wag. Within a week, my baseline mood genuinely lifted. Lesson 3. Silence has a voice. When I sat in total silence for 10 minutes, I eventually noticed a subtle, steady, inner presence. It felt like a Wi-Fi signal that's always on. You just must log in. Lesson 4. My body is not a rental car. I started stretching slowly after my practice. Combining a still mind with a moving body felt like I was finally saving my energy instead of constantly draining it. Lesson 5. Perfection is the enemy of presence. I missed a day. Instead of quitting, I wrote in my journal, "Missed, not dead," and restarted the next morning. That self-grace was the pivot. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Lesson 6. Everyone's fighting invisible battles. When I shared my challenge online, my DMs exploded. Friends I thought I knew admitted they felt hollow or cried in parking lots. Vulnerability is contagious in the best way. Lesson 7. Joy isn't a jackpot moment, it's a background app. When I stopped chasing big peak experiences, small joys multiplied. The elevator arriving just in time, a heart in my latte foam. Joy isn't a destination, it's finding connection in the mundane. Lesson 8. Listening is a spiritual practice. I started asking people, "What's life feeling like for you lately?" And then just listened. The raw, ordinary answers became sacred texts. True listening is a spiritual practice. Lesson 9. You can't hate yourself into a version you love. I ditched my harsh inner drill sergeant for a gentler voice. My productivity stayed the same, but my anxiety plummeted. Lesson 10. The challenge doesn't end at day 30. On day 31, it wasn't a chore. I automatically started my practice. The habit had become part of my identity, the biggest miracle of all. So, if anything I've shared here has landed in your gut, like a little, "Maybe I should try this too" nudge, then please, right now, pause for a second. Drop a comment below with just one word, describing how you feel right now. I genuinely read every single one of your comments, and honestly, half the time I reply, because your words are what keep me honest on those mornings when scrolling feels way more appealing than sitting with myself. 6. The after. So here I am, same apartment, same job, same dog, but something fundamental has shifted. I wake up now without that familiar dread in my stomach. Stress still shows up, but now it's a firecracker, not a wildfire. A sharp burst that's gone quickly, not lingering for days. My friends keep asking if I've moved to Bali or started microdosing. Nope. I simply gave myself permission to treat my inner hygiene with daily drama-free care. And the coolest side effect, my creativity has spiked. When you clear the mental static, ideas just flow. Conclusion: if you're on the fence about trying something like this, my biggest advice is to shrink the stakes. Make it tiny. 1 minute of breathing, 1 thank you, and 1 sentence on a sticky note. Pick one and commit for 30 days. I promise the compound interest will surprise you. You might not levitate, but you'll stop feeling like life is just happening to you. You'll start feeling like you're part of the conversation, an active participant in your own existence. And that sense of agency is worth more than any productivity hack I've ever tried. Thanks for walking through this with me. If you decide to take the plunge, let me know. I'll be cheering you on. You've got this.